Hi friends, hi friends, hi friends. Happy Thursday, my favorite night of the week. I love holding space for you every Thursday in the cloud, and everyone's joining. Wendy and Joe and Mom. Hello everybody, and Beth is here, and Angela's here, and Julie is here. It is a party on Periscope 1 week from today, and it will be Thanksgiving, so I hope you guys are ready. Hello Whitney, hello everybody. I'm so glad to see you guys joining, and Agatha is here. Hello, hello, hello. And Anna is here. Hello, Anna. And Lizzie is here. It is going to be a jam-packed session tonight, so I hope that you have your bunny slippers, your magnesium mocktail. I hope you have all those things ready because I have a lot to talk about. Hello, Donna. Hello, everybody. And so, yeah, we are going to try to pack as much as we possibly can in here. Hello, Christy. Hello, everybody. And so, if you are new to my Periscope broadcasts, my name is Hilary LaMay. Thank you so much for spending some of your Thursday evening with me. I am your Throw It Out Thursday label reading gangster hostess and your essential oil educator, platinum global team leader, and Aroma Touch certified practitioner with doTERRA International. And if you are new, I would love for you to share your name down below, and that way I could give you a shout out if you have a fancy screen name that I might not be able to tell who you are. And every week since December 2015, we have met together here in the cloud to kick chemicals to the curb where they belong and have fun learning. Hello, Stephanie. Yes, I'm so excited for you. Hello, Callie. I hope you guys enjoy this. I seriously have so much to talk about, so we're just diving right in. Hello, Holly. Hello, Colleen. Hello, everybody. Jules is here. Yes, party, Periscope style. And I love just showing you how fun, how sustainable, how versatile oils are. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Eden. And just really how oils help us improve our mindfulness, improve our mindfulness, and improve just the way that we think about our day, think about recipes, think about family gatherings, and really just encourage us to work together to hold space for each other to learn and grow. And I am always inspired by you, so I love when you guys share with me what you're doing with your oils and what you're making. And I love just seeing all the things that you are doing and tweaks that you're making to the recipes that I share. So thank you guys so much for all of those amazing comments and support through the years. It's been really fun. And I love teaching for the seasons too, right? And being festive is one of my favorite things. I love an excuse to celebrate, and tonight is time to talk turkey and all things for the main event for your Thanksgiving table. So last week we did cauliflower mash, where we were giving you some nice side dishes for your holiday meal. And so especially how our favorite practices, like some of the things I'm going to show you tonight, hello Bethany, hello Elka, are going to really help save you time and save you preservatives that you might be finding in some of those grocery store brines and spice rubs and things like that, and show you that you can actually use your oils to harness so much amazing flavor and be so flexible along the way that you can add the things that you like. You know, some of those spice rubs might have flavors that you're really not a fan of, and so it gives you that super flexibility. Hey Drew, it gives you that flexibility to just kick it to the curb and do whatever works for you. And so every year I love to experiment and share some of our discoveries that we're making in the LaMayzing test kitchen and bring you new recipes that really, like I said, you can cater to your family's flavors, your family's nutritional profiles, with plenty of time to gather all the ingredients. So you have a whole week. You have a week to experiment with this and see what's going to work for you. Hello, Cecilia. And I would love for you to share with me if you do any of these experiments. So Thanksgiving again is next Thursday. I cannot believe it. It's really hard to believe. I feel like we were just together at convention in September, and now it's the holiday season. And so that means there's no Periscope next Thursday, but that means next Friday is my third annual Black Friday Favorite Things broadcast, and I have an awesome giveaway to give you, and I'm going to be sharing some coupon codes to my favorite oily shops. Of course, Elka from Share Oils is one of those, and we're going to chat a little bit about that before I wrap tonight. But I love being inspired by you, like I mentioned, all the time. And don't forget that today is your last day to snag the free clove oil with your qualifying loyalty reward order, and then the Digest Zen soft gels are 10% off all month, which are fantastic for Thanksgiving. So if you haven't ordered these yet, you can still order them and get them in time. You just might want to rush your shipping. And so the holiday items were released too, so there are a few that are left. You want to snag those up as well so that your house can smell nice and cozy as you're cooking this meal and as you're hosting for your friends and family. And I love making you feel that oils are simple. that you can totally do this, because you can do this. And something that I hear a lot from my new oilers or people that I'm chatting with that haven't started their journey yet, sometimes will say, I'm so intimidated by oils. I don't know where to begin. And that is such a challenge for me. It's like throwing down the gauntlet. I love that, because my job is to make it so simple for you that you're like, wait, I just did what? I just made my own cleaning supplies. I just brined my own turkey. What? Holy cow. And I want to show you how fun it is. And so this is my 173rd Periscope broadcast. So if you are new, if you're just finding me now, you have a lot of catching up to do, but you can find recipes for everything: cleaning, cooking, beauty products, you name it, lots of fun things. So I hope you will check that out on my YouTube channel or here on my Periscope profile page as well. But I love showing you how fun and simple it is to incorporate your doTERRA products, your oils, and things like that into your home. You can probably make these recipes right now. You probably have everything that you need. And so that's what I love, showing you with a few simple ingredients you can pronounce. You know exactly what's in the food that you are serving to the most amazing people that are gathered around your holiday table this year. So I just want you to feel amazing. I want you to eat amazing. And I want your holiday to be memorable. And I want people to wonder, what in the world? She has taken her cooking game up a level. I don't know what the flavors are, but they're amazing. I want that to happen for you. I want you to feel so confident when you are in the kitchen preparing these meals. So of course, this platform of Periscope allows me to share my passion for doTERRA essential oils, my love for wellness living, and the freedom to just create whatever we want, whenever we want it. And maybe whoever brought you to doTERRA is no longer involved. Maybe they are your right-hand wingwoman and they support you every day. Either way, you can never have too much education. You can never have too many new perspectives and new tweaks on things that you might do and new thought patterns of how you're using your oils. And so I hope that if you have found me, that you will stick around, and this is our little cozy nook of the interwebs where every single week we just come together for continued education, learning different combinations of your oils and different ways from all over the world. So my team is global, and we can't always be together in the same time zone all the time in person. And so I love that I can share these broadcasts with my team, but share them with you as well and all the other teams across doTERRA, because the doTERRA culture really is all about sharing and just enjoying this information and passing it on, paying it forward, passing it on. So I love sharing with you on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. So after watching my broadcasts, hopefully you will feel that. Hopefully you will feel that you can do this, that it's accessible to you, and it becomes a gateway. When you can make your own glass cleaner, what else can you make? When you can make your own seasonal threat balm, what else can you make? When you can make your own head tension blends, what else can you make? And so I hope that you feel that too. And of course, the holidays is when we want to save money, when we want to save our time and have more time as a host, because hosting is a hustle. You're trying to get everything done at the same time. You're trying to entertain your guests. You're trying to make sure that everyone is having a great time. And so you want to cut down on the time that it's taking you to actually cook your food. And so you can tap the bottom of the screen, the little three dots. You can tap those three little buttons on the bottom right corner to share this broadcast if you would like to share. And you can tap the screen as many times as you want, and that gives me a little heart, and it just lets me know that you're having fun. Hi, Sarah. Lets me know you're having fun and you're learning along with me, and we're just having a great time together. So if you miss anything, you can always catch up. Like I said, YouTube, Periscope. If you're joining us for the first time, again, you have a lot of catching up to do, but that's okay. There's 172 other broadcasts for you to catch up on. And I would love for you now to put up a 1 if you feel intimidated by the idea of cooking a Thanksgiving turkey. Maybe, oh, thank you, Sarah. Yes, it was a snow day here, so I had to I didn't want to fight the natural texture. Today was all about the curl squad or reppin'. But so yes, put up a 1 if you feel intimidated about cooking a turkey. Maybe you've never been the host. Maybe you are new to living on your own. Maybe your parents or grandparents or aunt and uncle always host Thanksgiving and you've just never had to. And so, you don't know and you've not had to. Or you do, and every single year you're still intimidated. And okay, so yes, Colleen, she's never a host. So this would be something that you could really implement any time of year. Because guess what? Just because we eat turkey at Thanksgiving doesn't mean it's the only time we can. And what I'm going to show you is that you can employ these methods with chicken also. So most of us eat chicken if we're eating meat. Most of us eat chicken on a fairly regular basis. So this is a great opportunity for you to learn a new way. And then put up a 2 for me if you would like to learn a new way to streamline and save yourself a bunch of time instead of spending 8 or 9 or 10 hours tending to your Thanksgiving turkey, okay? So it is turkey time, y'all, and it's time to brine. And so we love hosting the holidays. George did not build a 10.5-foot table for nothing. I love being all together. It's easier for us to host because Olivia's in her environment. So when she's ready for bed, you know, she's got her jammies here. She's got her toys and her play area, you know, right off the kitchen. And we just have a lot of space, and we built this home to share. And so I love hosting holidays, and especially if George is available and off. So this year George is not off. He has to work the midnight shift from like 10 p.m. until 6:30 a.m. the night before Thanksgiving. So he's going to be home at like 7 a.m. and then sleep for a couple hours, and then we're going to be hosting Thanksgiving that afternoon. So we are always trying to streamline ways that we can cut down cooking time, cut down prep time, so that we can enjoy family time and not have George or I or anyone spending all their time focused on the kitchen. We can just be visiting with each other. So I am going to be super pumped to be sharing with you, because there are not many other things worse than a dry turkey when everyone in your family is gathered together around your table and the pressure's on. That's a lot of pressure, it can feel like. So it's time to take the pressure off with some super simple LaMayzing life hacks. So settle in, cozy up with your kiddos. They can totally help you. You can pick some steps for them to get engaged with you on, and they can volunteer to do different things. And we want to empower our little ones so that they feel, as they grow up, that they're watching you live this lifestyle. They're watching you refill your own cleaning supplies. They're participating with you. They're doing science experiments. And it's going to be so fun for them to contribute to the holiday. And maybe ask them, what would you like to contribute to the holiday menu? What would you like to contribute? And something we've started doing is every Sunday we'll go through for the week and figure out our menu of dinners. And we have been letting Olivia take the lead on planning our family menu. That way she's not arguing about dinner and saying, oh, I wish we were having rack of lamb tonight, you know, because she would eat that every single night. But it helps her feel empowered, and it helps her feel like she has a part of the family meal. So let your kids get involved with you, let them get messy, spill things. You know what? They can help you clean up too. That's a really important part of cooking as well. So about 3 years ago, George started using the spatchcocking method of preparing and cooking a turkey. So about 5 years ago, he started using the brining technique for flavoring the bird. So for 5 years, he's done the brining, and then recently, over the last 3 years, he's started using the spatchcock method, which we'll say Spatch for short. So tonight we're going to go over the basics that we use here at Chateau LaMay. Hello, Sandy. For first preparing the bird using the spatchcock method or Spatch method, quickly just introduce you the technique. Then number 2, I'm going to walk you through why and how we use a brining technique to marinate our turkey with lots of flavor. And then 3, we're going to demo my favorite dry rub mixture and end with a few of my little favorite quick tips for cooking your bird. So I love up-leveling with you and showing you that holidays can be super fun, a great excuse to use your oils in so many versatile ways, and that you also don't have to feel limited by the grocery store commercial spice rubs that you can find filled with artificial flavorings, unnecessary amounts of sodium, and lots of preservatives, because they're probably hanging out on the shelves for months and months and months, maybe more. So my recipe is infused with some simple flavors that you probably already have. Everything. I feel pretty confident, especially because I know my audience. I feel pretty confident that you have all the ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe already. And so we're going to infuse it with our favorite essential oils and ingredients that are more flavorful and easier for you to customize based on what you like. Because a lot of the brine, bags that you can find and a lot of the dry rubs have flavors that maybe you don't like, and we want to use things that you like, so that's what we're going to do. And so we're going to get our demo going. So the first thing I want to show you is preparing our bird using the Spatch method. This technique cooks your bird so much quicker and more evenly. And George first heard about this method from Alton Brown, one of our favorite chefs. He's really fun, he's really nerdy. So if you have not read any of Alton Brown's cookbooks or watched any of his shows, he really goes into the details and the science behind the reasons that he does different methodologies. And so you can go to YouTube and look up Spatchcock for turkey and fowl and be able to find lots of really great videos that you can watch. Yeah, I love Alton. He's fun, he's nerdy, he's relatable. I really enjoy his humor, and he just makes it really fun for you, and you're learning along the way, and that's what I love. So if you are new to learning about the Spatch method, I think you're gonna really resonate with it. And so it's where you simply cut out the backbone and then you flatten the breastbone of the bird, which also kind of looks like you're butterflying the bird, so it's nice and flat. So normally your turkey's, you know, full and round, right? And it takes a long time to cook, 5, 8, 10 hours. And I want to show you what it looks like whole. So this is just a whole chicken. Now, because I'm handling raw meat, I am going to be using food prep gloves, and I also have my On Guard hand spray near me because one of the reasons I haven't shown you this demo before is because I kind of, you know, was trying to figure out how logistically I would do this without cross-contaminating anything. And so I was like, you know what, I've got my gloves and we're going to take care of business. So this is a small chicken that we're going to use because we're not ready for actually prepping our turkey yet, and when you do a large 13 to 14 pound turkey, it's a little bit harder to manage on the screen and in a smaller workspace like I have for my Periscope. So I'm going to just show you with a small chicken, and that way we will have extra bone broth materials, and we're going to be making all these extras that I'm demoing for freezing and for making soups and bone broth. So there's no waste here at all. But I am using a whole chicken to show you this method. And so when you have your whole bird, yes, when you have your whole bird, you want to put on your food prep gloves when you're handling raw meat or poultry. And so what I'm going to do is grab my knife, and I'm going to grab my kitchen shears, and then I'm going to grab my cutting board. So I'm just going to grab that. Pardonnez-moi. So I've got my cutting board here, and then I'm going to take my knife, and I've got my very sharp poultry shears, and you're going to take your bird and put it on the work surface, okay? So again, this is a chicken that I'm using just to show you, and this is a whole chicken, and if you are squeamish, you might not want to continue. You can drop off and I won't be offended, but this is the backbone here, okay? So what you're going to do is, this is breast side down, so this is the breast side up. Sarah's saying she always wondered why they were called poultry shears. Oh yeah, because they're super sharp and you can cut through cartilage. So again, if you are squeamish or you are a meat freer, you might want to say goodbye now. So this is the breast side up. Okay, so what we're going to do is turn this breast side down. Now what you also want to do is make sure that all of the innards and things have been taken out of the inside of the cavity. So in this case, they have been. And you also want to trim off any extra fat that you can use your knife, or you can use your poultry shears to just trim off any extra fat, and you can save that for your bone broth. But you just want to trim off anything that's hanging over or anything extra like that. Okay, and so then what we are going to do is we are going to flip this breast side down, and here's the spine, here's the backbone. So we are going to cut down each side of that backbone. And so you can kind of see, here's the tail, right? So hopefully you guys can all see this. Here's the tail, and we are just going to cut, literally we're just going to cut straight through. Okay, and if you want to flip it over, you can, but I find that this works really well. All right, so we are just going to start cutting, and this is again why you want to have really sharp kitchen shears, and you just want to go right along that backbone. And you want to put a little muscle into it because you're going to be butterflying this open, okay? And so you're going to go down one entire side, see, just like this, and then if you need to flip it over, you can, or you can just work directly from here. So we're going to keep working through and make sure that we cut through here, okay? And see, look, we've butterflied this open. Callie says the first time she cooked a whole chicken, she didn't know where the innards were in there. Oh yeah, yes, they are sure in there, that is for sure. Yes, 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 all the innards. You just want to make sure that anything that's like hanging over extra is gone out of your way. Any fat that's maybe hanging on the inside. I know this might look a little gnarly, but you're going to thank me later. You can go back and watch this when you're ready for your Thanksgiving meal. And so again, you're going to just cut down each side of the spine. So here's the tail, and we're just going to cut this out. And what you're going to do is save this for your bone broth. This is going to be awesome for your bone broth. And you want to be careful, so, you know, if you need to flip it over, you totally can. And just make sure that you've got a nice, convenient workspace here. And so you're just going to work through this with your shears, making sure you've got a nice grip here. And when you are done, it's going to be really nice and flat. So it's going to cook super quickly. Short people problems. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you cut the backbone out. So I want you to save this in your freezer, label it. Yes, it's a great idea to experiment with a chicken first because it's small surface area and it's really easy. So if you make a mistake, you're okay. So this is the backbone. I want you to save this for your bone broth. I want you to save this. This is gonna have so much flavor. Okay, so we're gonna save that. And then here we have our beautiful bird that's nice and butterfly open. And again, you just want to make sure that you've cut out any little pieces of fat hanging over because that's not going to look pretty. And you know, you can just zhuzh it up like that. So now that our bird has been butterflied like this, the bird will not quite be all the way flat. Okay, so what we want to do is flip it back over to breast side up. And we want to pretend that we are doing CPR on the bird. So this, again, of course, is not meant for the squeamish, but you got to just get gritty on it, and you want to take your palms and press. And you will most likely hear a crack, especially with a larger turkey. You will probably feel or hear a crack, but that's okay if you don't with a smaller bird. But you want to break the breastbone so it lays nice and flat, okay? And so you just take your hands to it a couple times like you're performing surgery, like you're performing, yes, it's a first aid chicken show. So now you see that it's nice and flat and everything is laying flat here. And that's going to allow the chicken or the turkey to cook really, really quickly because all of that surface area is going to be exposed to the heat and it's going to work really well for you. And then you're ready to marinate it. So you can marinate it however you like. Now in our case, we are going to brine it. So what does it mean to brine? So a brine is a very basic solution of water or liquid of choice and salt. And by giving our turkey a mineral salt soak, if you will, a luxurious dunk in this solution, we can actually sneak more moisture and sneak more flavor into our bird, and it helps the bird stay juicy and moist and tender after you cook it. So whatever flavor you want your bird to have is the flavors that you want to brine it in. So the magnesium mafia is glorious for cooking, it's glorious for relaxing, it's glorious for people or for fowl as well. And just like we take baths in salt, our dinner is going to do that too, okay? So since the turkey absorbs salt along with the water, it also gets really nicely seasoned from the inside out. So even better, the salt breaks down some of the turkey's muscle proteins, which helps the overall moisture absorption and also prevents the meat from toughening up so quickly. So I'm gonna actually move this out of our way real quick so that we can do our brine, and then we'll come right back to that. So when I take off my food prep gloves and I put them in a little trash bowl that I have, what I also like to do for good measure is use my On Guard hand spray. So I use this in the kitchen as well whenever I'm cooking, especially if I'm handling raw meat. And what I also do is spray down my work surface, just in case any one little piece of, or any little drip of poultry spills on any of my workspace. I like to make sure that we are nice and sanitary everywhere we are working. And the On Guard hand spray is 99.9% antiseptic. So I highly recommend that you store a couple of these in your junk drawer, in your silverware drawer, or in your kitchen. I love using this when I'm preparing anything with raw meat or anything of that nature. So we are going to work on our brine. And so if you're nervous about cooking your turkey too long and winding up with a platter of dry turkey meat on your table, think of brining as your insurance policy, like the On Guard soft gels of your holiday meal, right? And so brining a bird will allow it to stay juicy. It's going to taste great, even if you overshoot the cooking time a little bit. And that's one less thing that you're going to need to worry about during your holiday enjoyment, right? So you're going to want to first clear some fridge space. Now we are using a small, just a few pound chicken, but normally we cook 2 birds. Usually they're each 12 to 14 pounds. So we're having 20 to 25 people over next Thursday. And so it makes it a lot quicker to do 2 smaller birds. A lot of people are like, ooh, I want the big presentation of a 20-pound bird. But then you run the risk of the flavor missing the mark, and we don't want a tragedy to happen with your turkey, right? So we don't want that to happen, but you're gonna need to clear some fridge space. If you have an extra fridge in your garage, hey Pebby, if you have an extra fridge in your garage, if you have a neighbor with an extra fridge in their garage, if you don't have an extra fridge in your garage, you can use a cooler, but you do wanna clear fridge space for this because it is going to take up a little bit of extra real estate for probably 3 days or so before Thanksgiving. So you're gonna find a pot or a bucket big enough to comfortably hold your turkey. Now, we're using a small chicken as our demo, right? So I just want to show you what we are going to use for this. This is a 8 to 9 cup Pampered Chef mixing bowl with a lid, and this is going to work really well for this size chicken. But if you are working with a larger turkey, again, you can use something called a brining bag that you can buy from Bed Bath & Beyond, from Amazon, from World Market, and these are really big, and they come with 2, I believe. No, this is just 1. So this is a brining bag. It says for making tender and juicy turkey meat. So you can, use a trash bag. You can use whatever ghetto style you have set up. But if you need to use something like that to make sure that your turkey or your chicken is submerged completely, by all means do that. Now, when you're using the spatchcock method, because the bird is a little flatter, you have the option of using a deeper casserole dish. So as long as it's staying submerged in the brining liquid, you're good to go. You just want to make sure that if you need to weigh it down with anything, you can do that. So, and again, this is why the spatchcocking method is great, because it can lay flat and you have a few more options. So you're going to want to work your Tetris master skills, rearrange the fridge, and make enough space before you are lugging this, juicy bird into your fridge and you're like, oh, oopsie, I have nowhere to put this. So you want to make sure that you've got that room set up in advance. And you can even put a little Tupperware dish or something on top of it to weigh it down if you have the space in your fridge. Most fridges also will adjust the shelving. So if you have space but it's too short, you can look into your fridge and just for the weekend readjust the shelving height in your fridge, and that might work. So in a large bowl, what we're going to do is we're going to add our brining liquid. We're going to add equal parts. So if you are doing a larger turkey, you can scale this up. I don't know what sauerkraut weights are, but I'm sure you can try. So you're going to use equal parts. So whatever liquids you're using, you want to do equal parts. So for this, we're going to use 2 cups of apple cider and 2 cups of water. But if you are doing a larger bird, you can do whatever works for you. You can also do bourbon. We are going to use bourbon, and that's what George uses for our holiday meal. But for our demo, since these are going to be freezer meals that we're making for soups and for other things, I wanted to show you using apple cider because it's also really flavorful, and if you're not consuming alcohol, then that's a great option for you too. So in a large mixing bowl, we've got our equal parts. For this particular smaller chicken, we've got 2 cups of apple cider, 2 cups of water, okay? And for the smaller bird, again, we just want to make sure that our liquid gets to the top, that it doesn't overflow. And so we're going to set this aside for a minute. We'll put this off camera here. And then in a smaller bowl, we're going to make our brining solution that we're going to mix and we're going to add into the brining liquid. Okay, so these are our more solid items. And so we are going to add 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. Now you can use brown sugar if you'd like to, but I like to use coconut sugar. And I'm going to use a little spoon to get this out of here. And then we are going to use 1/2 cup of coarse Himalayan pink salt. And I personally really love Himalayan pink salt because I find it's really more mild than other kinds of salt. Plus it's pink and gorgeous. Hello. Pink salt is so beautiful. If you have not experimented with it, I highly recommend that you do. It's so beautiful and it just looks elevated and fancy. So we're going to add 1/2 cup. So equal parts again, equal parts. Jules, equal parts. So if you're going to use bourbon, you would use 1/2 bourbon, 1/2 water. And you just want to make sure that whatever liquids you're using are liquids that you like the taste. So in a lot of cooking shows, it cracks me up because they're like, oh, just use cooking wine or use like whatever, is inexpensive. And I'm like, no, you want to use the good stuff. You want to use the alcohol, the wine or bourbon that you like the flavor. Because guess what? When you cook with alcohol, the alcohol cooks out and the flavor is what you are left with. So a lot of cooking wine is really sodium filled and it does not taste good. So I don't recommend that, but you can do whatever works for you. Eden, that's up to you. You can do whatever you would like. I just love the coarse salt of this recipe, and that is what most brining recipes will call for, because it's not, it's just about soaking into the meat. It's not about sticking to the meat like the finer granules will be used in the dry rub, because we want to keep that on the surface, whereas the larger granules are just going to dissolve in the brining liquid. And so then we are going to add our essential oils, and if you look at most brining mixes that you can get from World Market or any grocery store. They usually have juniper berry, actual whole juniper berries, rosemary, thyme, black pepper, orange peel. So we're gonna do similar, and we're gonna harness the robust flavor of our essential oils instead of the dried herbs. And then this allows us to really customize for our personal taste. So to our salt and coconut sugar, we're gonna add 2 drops each of the oils that we're using. And I'm so glad that Elka's here because I love using her wooden holders for all of my oils that I'm gonna cook with. And these are super herbaceous. So we're gonna be using 2 drops of juniper berry, 2 drops of pink pepper, 2 drops of rosemary, thyme, wild orange, and coriander essential oils. So these are all the oils that we are going to be using tonight in our recipes. And so the same oils that we're using in our brine are gonna be the same oils that we actually are going to use in our dry rub, and I'm really excited to show you that because this is also a great holiday gift idea. So we're gonna add our oils now. We're gonna just infuse these. So we're gonna go one by one. We're gonna add 2 drops of coriander, and I love the dropper tops because they make it really exact when you're crafting and you're baking or cooking and you're not wasting any of your essential oils. Now we're using wild orange, and I love how in a lot of the, pretty much every brining solution that I saw on the market on shelves had wild orange peel in the brining mixture, and I thought that was really funny because our essential oil, of course, our wild orange essential oil is distilled from the peel, so that's perfect that we don't even need to buy fresh oranges. We've got even better. And now rosemary, 2 drops of this, and we're just infusing this brining liquid. And then 2 drops of juniper berry, which I love and is so interesting and complex in this recipe. That came out a little bit quickly. And then last but not least, pink pepper, because it's a little bit more fragrant and I just love it so much. Jules is saying she's gonna use her pink pepper for the first time on Thanksgiving. Awesome, hello Taylor. All right, and our 2 drops of pink pepper. So we've got our oils infused here and now we're ready to rock. Ooh. Okay, and again, you can get this from Share Oils. Now also, don't forget that you can use the code EBO15 for everything and anything you want from now until December 31st. So Elka, thank you for your generosity and kindness for always sharing the love with our tribe and making sure you guys are getting all of your spray bottles and dropper tops and wooden trays and wooden holders and everything you need for your oily life. And so we are going to mix this, and it smells so incredible. 2 drops of oil for each one. Yeah, the dropper from the thyme only had 1 drop, so I went back in. And if you miss anything, you can always catch up on the replay and take notes, and so you won't miss a thing. All right, so here is our beautiful brining salt, and we are going to add this to our water mixture, okay? And so we are gonna grab our cider and water, and this is equal parts. You can do whichever resonates with you. Bourbon, even LaCroix, or any sparkling water is a great option for tenderizing meat as well. And so we are gonna add this to our brining liquid, okay? And this is gonna be awesome. Into the mineral soak, into the bath for everyone. This is so awesome. And you just mix this up. Now you can boil it. I have seen recipes where you boil it, but then you need to chill it afterward, and it just adds an extra step, and it's really not necessary. And George has never boiled his brine, and our turkeys have always come out really incredibly juicy and flavorful. So once you mix this, you are good to go, and then you're gonna put your fresh food prep gloves on, right? Because we don't want any cross-contamination, and you can get latex-free food prep gloves on Amazon or at your grocery store, anywhere that you shop. And we want to make sure that we are staying nice and clean from any germs and cross-contamination in our cooking prep area. So we are going to put on our gloves. Yes, it is a chicken spa, stepping into the LaMayzing laboratory for our brine, spatch and brine night here together. And there's going to be no excuse ever for not having an awesome LaMayzing turkey in the future. So now we're going to place our bird gently into this brining bowl that I've got on our cutting board here. Okay, and so we are just going to lower him down right in to here. And so as I mentioned, if you want, you can make sure that your bird is completely submerged, and when we put the lid on, it is going to do that. And you can readjust however you need, and you can flip the bird, you can flip the bird as needed if you need to. If you feel like maybe a little bit of the top is not submerged, you can put whatever, Sarah, I'm not sure what you were mentioning, the sauerkraut weights, but it sounds like something that you could probably use for this. Okay, and so what you're going to do is put your lid on, and then you are going to be good to go with this. Okay, and now again, what I want to do is make sure that we spray down our hands and spray down our surface, because we did get one little drop of our turkey juice on there, and we don't want any cross-contamination. I know it might seem like overkill, but I promise you it's really important that you keep your kitchen space really clean and free from bacteria. And so I'm actually going to spray the top of this, because I know it's just the OCD in me has to do it. Sarah's saying they're glass canning weights, you can use them for fermenting. Oh yeah, that sounds like you can totally do that. So now we've got our brining liquid in here, and we're gonna leave this for 12 to 24 hours. And depending on how much time you have, if you have the time to do 24, that is ideal. If you do not have that time, just do whatever you possibly can. And you want to refrigerate this. So the challenge, if you don't have the fridge space and you need to use a cooler, you want to make sure that the cooler is staying at a normal refrigerated temperature. So if you need to buy bags of ice from the grocery store, leave it in your garage, whatever you need to do to make sure that, you know, the meat is not getting above a refrigerated temperature. And that's a little hard to do in a cooler, but you know, do whatever you can. And so the cure from the brining liquid is going to give the meat all of that flavor that we want, not just the skin, which is usually what happens. And the skin has flavor, and that's great, but then when you pull the skin off, well, where's the flavor, right? The flavor is not there. So the meat is going to be incredibly flavorful using this method. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And so now that we have let our bird brine, we're going to whip up our dry rub to flavor the outside and make a beautiful presentation. And so I have another chicken that I've done because I want to show you guys, I really want to show you each step. And so this one we're going to put to the side, and I'm going to cook that tomorrow. So I'm going to put this to the side. And then I have another one that I'm going to show you when we're ready. So we are going to do our rub next. And so now that we've let our bird brine, we're going to whip up that dry rub flavor so we can flavor the outside of the bird now, because the brine is really going to tackle the inside and just penetrate the skin and the muscle layer, and it's going to be amazing and flavorful, and you're going to love this. And even if you're not a turkey fan, do this with chicken. You know, you can get like little Cornish hens and try different flavors, maybe try 2 or 3 different ones and see which one resonates the most with you. And I think you're going to really like that. So we are going to grab our ingredients for our dry rub. Now, the quickest way to flavor your meat, of course, is by flavoring the outside. And so you can do your dry rub 1,001 different ways, but this is what we are going to use to continue the flavorings that we used in the brine for that flavor continuity. And so the 3 tips to keep in mind when you're making a rub is sweet, savory, and spicy, okay? And so I am going to grab a little bowl because I don't know what happened to mine. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to use a little mason jar because I love mason jars. Now, what I wanted to show you also is that you can make this in advance and have so much prep time because you're going to do all the things that you possibly can ahead of time. So this is a mason jar, and this is awesome. You can give this as a gift, especially if you know someone that loves to grill, and you can give them like a cool apron and some grilling tools. This would be a great Father's Day gift too, or a little stocking stuffer, or a hostess gift. So you can make it in advance. So I love doing as much prep work as possible ahead of time, okay, because it's really just going to save you sanity and it's going to save you time. So in a small jar, just mixing bowl, whatever you have, we are going to start with the savory, and so we're going to combine 2 tablespoons of finely ground Himalayan pink salt, okay, and I like the finely ground for the rub because the little kernels are just going to really stick well to the skin, whereas if you were using coarse salt, it would probably just fall right off the edge. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and then we are going to add 1 drop of rosemary. And these oils are so herbaceous and pungent, you just do not need a lot. So we're going to add 1 drop of rosemary, and then we're going to add 1 drop of thyme because it's turkey thyme, and then we're going to add 1 drop of pink pepper. And these are really savory, and you're going to love these, just like you did in the brining recipe. And then 1 drop of juniper berry, which I love for things like this. It is so interesting and totally unexpected for most people. And then we're gonna add the sweet elements. So we're gonna add 5 drops of wild orange. And I know that might sound like a lot, but I'm really heavy-handed when it comes to the citrus, especially lemon. I love all the citrus. So if you don't like citrus as much, you could use lemon instead of orange. You could use lime, and you could do like a more spicy flavor, but I love wild orange, so we're gonna go big, and we're gonna do 5 drops of orange. All right. And then we are gonna add 4 tablespoons of our coconut sugar. So we're adding the same elements to our spice rub as we are to our brine, which is gonna make it even more robust and layered, because the flavors are gonna all just be really wonderful together. And actually there was a little bit of pink salt that didn't get out, so I wanna make sure I'm getting all of our ingredients. Yes. And then we are gonna add a little bit of heat. So we have sweet, savory, and spicy, and we're gonna add a little bit of heat where it's not gonna be spice per se, but it's just gonna give some nice dimension to the recipe. And so we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of paprika. And then we are gonna add 2 drops of coriander, because coriander has got a really cool, interesting flavor. And if you haven't experimented with coriander, it's the seeds of the cilantro plant. So the cilantro leaves are how you get cilantro essential oil, and then coriander essential oil is distilled from the actual coriander from the cilantro seeds before they sprout and become a plant. So it's very similar. I don't like cilantro, so I use coriander. And so then we are going to mix this all together, and it's gonna be so delicious. And look at the color, and look at the just aroma. I wish you had smell-o-vision. It is so awesome. And then we're just gonna mix this really, really well and make sure that it's all nice and mixed together. All right. And if you store it in an airtight container, you can actually store this and save it for a year, which makes it really cool to make this in a large batch, and we usually do. We will usually store this in a mason jar, and that way anytime we're making ribs or chicken or anything, it is so seamless. Jules, yeah, you can use cilantro instead of coriander. I just personally find there's a slight subtle difference, but I personally like coriander more. I am not so much of a cilantro fan, but I would encourage you, maybe a friend or someone in your upline that has both, you can do a little side-by-side smell test. So now comes the fun part. We're gonna season our bird. So again, we're gonna put another set of food prep gloves on, and I know it might seem a little bit wasteful or excessive, but I promise when we're talking about bacteria and cross-contamination with raw meat, you can't be too cautious. And so I am very eco-friendly in many of the practices I have in my home, but this is one that I do not want to use something that is going to cross-contaminate. So for my demo, I'm going to be using these food gloves because they're super helpful. So we are going to grab a roasting pan or a casserole dish that is going to fit our bird. Okay, so I've got some of my supplies here that I'm going to grab for you. And we've got our roasting pan here that we're going to use. Now here in this bowl, I have the chicken that I've brined for 24 hours already that is excited to be joining the party. And what we're gonna do is take our chicken out of the brine, and it just smells amazing, and it's really tender. It actually feels like it might even fall apart because it's that tender. And so what we're gonna do is transfer this into our casserole dish, and then we're gonna carefully take our tray here and swipe this around. So this is another one that I have spatchcocked, right? So this has been opened up and cut completely open, and it's butterflied and beautiful. So it's gonna lay flat for you, and you're gonna be able to get all of the surface area covered with your beautiful rub and brine. And the brine is already soaked in, and I can already feel that the meat is super tender, and this is really fun for you. So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna start out with 1 to 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. You can use olive oil, you can use grass-fed butter. What I like about this is that you're gonna cover the surface area of the turkey so that everything is going to stick really nicely to what we're doing. Now, if you need to, you can dry it off. I like to leave it a little bit wet actually, because I find that having a little bit extra of the brining liquid is kind of nice. So you're just gonna take your coconut oil, and it's gonna soften up really beautifully in your hand, and you're just gonna cover the surface area all over, in between all the joints, everywhere, and then you wanna flip it over and make sure that you cover the bottom of the bird as well with the coconut oil mixture. And that way, the rub is gonna stick beautifully to the skin. Okay, so once you've done that, then you're gonna flip the bird again. You're gonna flip the bird again, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna get messy and have fun, and this is a great opportunity for your kiddos to get involved. And this is what's gonna give the skin of the turkey or chicken a beautiful color, and it's so fun, and you can just get messy, especially if you do like little Cornish hens. You can let each person in your family kind of have like a DIY flavor night, and they can just flavor things on their own, and that's going to be really fun. Okay, and so once you just do a little aroma touch treatment to your bird, you just want to make sure you've rubbed all of this dry rub into the surface area of your chicken or turkey. And then we're going to flip the bird again. I'm so punny. And make sure that all the surface area of the back of the bird is also moistened. Isn't this messy? I love getting messy with you guys. It's super fun. Super fun. Yes. All the yummy flavors for Thanksgiving. Okay, and so again, we just want to make sure that we get under each of the, thank you so much, I try. Under each of the areas of the bird, inside, all the crevices. Get personal with the chicken, you know, keep your personals personal normally, but when you're talking about spatching and dry rubbing a bird, it means it's time to get for reals. Time to get serious. And then, yeah, you just make sure that all of your bird has been seasoned and flavored to your liking. And the coconut oil is gonna be kind of thick and nice, and it's not gonna run off like olive oil will be. And you can kind of reach down into the pan and just make sure that the surface area is really nicely covered with your brine. And so once the surface area is ready, then you're ready to cook. And so I'm gonna take off my gloves yet again and make sure that we are nice and clean in our surface area. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna move this over here, off camera. All right, and so again, we are gonna wash our hands because that is super, super duper important, and we're gonna wash our surface area as well, just in case any little drip got on our cutting board. Okay, and I'm gonna dry my hands really nicely and move everything out of the way and just double insurance-ify myself because we don't wanna get any cross-contamination around here. And then we'll actually wipe down our surface too. So as you're seeing, it's really, really important to take your hygiene practices really seriously when you are in the kitchen with poultry and things like that. So now you're gonna cook your turkey, and you want to make sure that you've got all the things in place, right? So we've brined our turkey, we've dry rubbed our turkey, and we spatched our turkey. And these methods, along with reducing that cooking time from using the spatch method, is really gonna increase the flavor. And that's what we wanna do. We wanna increase the flavor, we wanna simplify our lives. We don't wanna be spending 8 hours messing around and opening up the oven and checking the temperature and doing all those things and fussing. We wanna be enjoying our holiday. So again, you'll want a foil or roasting pan, a good quality thermometer, a good quality meat thermometer, and you want something that's digital. So this is, you can get any meat thermometer on Amazon or from your favorite grilling shop or from probably Bed Bath & Beyond, but you want a really great quality meat thermometer. And you know what I also like to do is I also like to spray the meat thermometer too, because you can't put this in the dishwasher. And again, it's really important that if you're putting this inside the meat, and then you're putting it out on the counter, and then you're grabbing it again and you're putting it back into the meat, you really don't want to cross-contaminate anything in your work area. So you wanna just, it's like a little life hack, just keep your On Guard spray and spray your thermometer after each time so that you're not putting raw bacteria back into the turkey. Because I know you might not think about it, but when you are trying to be really mindful of those kinds of practices, it can really help. So you want your foil pan, you want a good quality meat thermometer. You can also use things like lemon slices to you know, really just zhuzh up the bird however you like to. So you can put these beautiful lemon slices around your meat if you would like to do that. And you can even zhuzh it up with dried herbs, like you can use thyme and rosemary, which are really beautiful to do. And you can have these just as decoration, as garnish, because we're gonna really amp up the flavor using our essential oils that we infused in the brining liquid and in the dry rub, but you can also just use them for garnish because they're really pretty. And so a LaMayzing tip that I shared earlier, in case you didn't catch it, is that we like to cook 2 smaller, like 12 to 14 pound birds if we're gonna be hosting 20 to 24 people, because it's about 1 pound of turkey per person. And so it allows you to cook the turkey or the chicken a lot faster. And we have 2 ovens, so that really helps because if we need to, we can have 1 in each oven. And so it's also just a lot easier to handle 2 smaller birds than 1 ginormous bird that if it's dry, you know, you don't have any options. And you can also grab a silicone basting brush that's really helpful for you too, because it's really easy to keep that clean. If you're using like a wire brush, it just sort of seems like it never gets clean all the way. So a silicone brush is really great to use, and you can get this anywhere, you know, Amazon or your local Target or Bed Bath & Beyond or Walmart, anything like that. A silicone baking brush is going to be great. And what you can do is you're going to take any of those juices that come out of the meat as you check it. If you want to, you can just sort of redistribute those onto the surface of your turkey. And so for any poultry, you need the internal temperature to reach at least 155 degrees when you take it out of the oven, and then you're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes for the juices to redistribute, and the heat is actually going to continue to raise that internal temperature, and it'll raise that temperature 10 degrees. So when your bird is 165 degrees, you know that it is safe to eat and you are good to go. So for our small bird that we made, we did that at 450 degrees for 30 minutes, and that's all it took. So you can do this for a weeknight dinner. You can prep it the night before, you know, brine it 2 days before, and get all those things moving so that, boom, you put that in the oven, and you can be boiling your broccoli or your cauliflower mash. You can be doing all those other food prep things that you want to do. And so when it's game time, you want to let your full-size turkey also get to room temperature. So you're going to do 450 degrees, and then you want to put your turkey in the middle rack. Okay, so it's going to get nice coverage for the heat to go all the way around the bird, and you'll want to cook that between 1 hour and an hour and a half. So depending on the size of your turkey will depend on that. And you can Google spatchcocking method, and you know, they have a lot of charts online where you can see the poundage. So if it's, you know, a 12-pound turkey, an hour, hour and a half. If it's, you know, a 20-pound turkey, it might be double that. So you can use a lot of online resources are great. Look at Alton Brown's YouTube or any of his online resources or cookbooks, and he's got a lot of great resources there. So when your turkey comes out, you take your thermometer and you put that in the thickest part of the thigh, and that's going to help you be able to tell that it's 155, and then you're good to go, letting it sit for 10 minutes. When it's 165, you can start carving. So hopefully this is going to help you see how versatile that this recipe can be, because the magic of Periscope, and I have one that I did just before we went on live, and I plated this up and it looks so beautiful, and I've added a few little extra sprigs of thyme, and I'm going to add a little bit of rosemary to this. And how pretty is this? We've added a few little lemon slices, and you can see the darkness of the herbs. Now what you can also do is take a little bit of foil and put little booties on the bottom of the bones. That's what I've done, so you can kind of see that there's a little bit less seasoning on the bottom of the bones, just so that they don't burn or get scorched, because they're a little bit thinner there. But it's beautiful and it's nice and flat, and so it makes it really easy to carve, because you can actually pull all the pieces apart, you can cut it, and you can make it so beautiful on your tray, and it's going to be nice and tender for all of your company. And hopefully you see how simple it is, that you don't have to be intimidated, and I hope that you will try this Thanksgiving. I hope you are not intimidated. You can use any of your favorite dried herbs. This is a little bit of thyme. So we've got thyme and rosemary because it's time to brine, and this is so fun. And any weeknight, you can make this in 30 minutes. That's all it took me, 30 minutes of cooking time. So once you have a small chicken, experiment with this, see how it feels for you. I would love for you to tag me on Instagram or Facebook and just see, you know, kind of what you think. But yes, it's so beautiful, so simple, so flavorful. My house smells absolutely amazing. It smells incredible. I just love the smell of this. I just love all of this, all these flavors. And then before we wrap, of course, I want you to play with your food. I don't want you to be scared. I want you to feel comfortable with using your oils. If you are too intimidated to use a full drop of oil, that's totally cool, because I started using a toothpick swirl as well. So if you're not sure that you want a full drop or 2 drops of rosemary, you can just take a toothpick and drop it into your oil and just swirl it around to infuse the salt and the sugar and, you know, each of the things, the brining liquid and whatnot. But I want you to play with your food. I want you to choose your own adventure. your oils, flavors, herbs. You can use turkey, you can use chicken, you can use whatever, but I want you to try new things. I bet your neighbors would love to be your guinea pigs, so I would love for you to reach out to me as always if you are ready to purchase essential oils and you want my support and my leadership. Also, before I wrap, if you saw my post last week, you know that the folks at Stadler have done it again and created an amazing bundle promo for us. And when you buy a Julia diffuser, she's the workhorse that's behind me every week, and she runs 54 hours. When you go to StadlerFormUSA.com and you type in the keyword search bundle, you'll see the bundle there until tomorrow. This is over tomorrow, and then it just goes back to 25% off everything as my normal baseline code that they've provided for all of you. So if you want to get the Julia and you want to get a jasmine diffuser for free, she runs 24 hours, and this is the very first Stadler diffuser that I ever tried, and I love her so much. You can kind of see the mist there. And the bundles are for either a white Julia and jasmine or a black Julia and jasmine. I got the titanium ones a couple years ago, and those are not available anymore, but you can do the Julia and jasmine black or Julia and jasmine white. So when you buy the bundle and you use my coupon code EBO at checkout, you're gonna get the jasmine for free. So you're gonna get a $79.99 Julia and a $59.99 jasmine for only the cost of the Julia, which is awesome. So, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, this is metal. The titanium is a different color. So this is the metal color. This is just going to be awesome for you. And I love making sure that you have coupons, you have discounts, you know how to maximize the value of your oils. That is my jam. That is what I love. And of course, this jasmine is the very first Stadler diffuser I fell in love with. And now my favorite one, I'm sorry, Jasmine, but it is the Julia because she's 54 hours of runtime. So that really is a mommy saver for me because I can set it and leave it alone for a couple days, and it's an awesome life hack for me. So if you have not snagged any of the Stadler products, this is a really great opportunity to do that. If you don't need 2 diffusers, give one as a gift, have one as a backup diffuser, but you're really gonna love these. So again, use code EBO at checkout at StadlerFormUSA.com, and then if you miss this promo anytime after tomorrow, you'll be able to use the code for 25% off anything that you want, and it's going to be a great jump start for your holiday shopping. And I've also got $50 in free oil cash to spend and a free welcome bundle waiting for you, and all the access to my past research, all the replays from all of my classes and workshops and tutorials, as well as all the resources that I have archived in our private Oil Squad team page since 2014. So there is 4 years of information at your disposal. Can't wait to bring you into this oily world. Thank you for always holding space for me on your Thursday evenings. That is a wrap on my 173rd Periscope broadcast. Holy cow. Next Thursday, of course, you and I and all of us in Periscope land will be enjoying our Thanksgiving holiday with our friends and family. So there will not be a Periscope, but there will be my 3rd annual Favorite Things Black Friday Periscope at 8 p.m. Eastern next Friday, of course. And so I will be giving away a free diffuser from Stadler. So I am really excited to see which one of you wins that diffuser. I'm really excited to see because I want you to have these awesome, long-running, high-quality diffusers in your space. And I hope you have the most LaMayzing Thanksgiving possible. I hope it is flavorful. I cannot wait to kick off my 5 weeks of thankfulness giveaways between now and Christmas week. And Sandy, and thank you to the Stadler folks for facilitating that because they have sent me diffusers to give away every single week between next Friday and Christmas. So it is going to be LaMayzing. It is going to be awesome. Do not forget your digestion this coming Thursday. Okay, you want your digestion oil, you want the gel caps. It's going to be LaMayzing. I can't wait to see how tender your turkey is. I'm going to cut this up and I'm going to use the bones for bone broth so that we have lots of extra bone broth this winter, and it's all going to be flavored with the brining solution and with the dry rub we made, and you can make extra for your friends and family, and it would be a great gift to give if you are not hosting. So that was a lot. We talked for an hour. Holy cow. It's time to let you get back to your evening. I hope you have an amazing weekend and a great Thanksgiving, and I will see you next Friday. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.